You're connected to All Songs Considered. I'm Bob Boilen with a special guest DJ show from AURORA. The young singer from Norway put out a dramatic and a beautiful record earlier this year. It's called All My Demons Greeting Me as a Friend. You may have heard this song.
There's blood on your lies, the sky's up and wide. There is nowhere for you to hide. The heart is moon is shining. I'm running with the wolves tonight. I'm running with the wolves. I'm running with the wolves tonight. I'm running with the wolves. I'm running with the trick or treat.
I first saw AURORA in a small club in New York City about 3 years ago. She was 17 years old. Her performance was mesmerizing, and her frail blonde figure mirrored her enchanting voice and her words. So it was kind of surprising to see her list of songs for this guest DJ show, which included this song from Mastadon. And this is
Mastadon.
That's right. Mastadon, the song's called The Hunter. I'm going to play a little bit and then you can tell me why you picked this. It's a mystery to me. So this is Mastadon, as we said, and it's a song from 2011 or so, 5 years or so ago. Where did you first hear Mastadon? And is it just this song or the band itself that you love?
No, I do love the band, and I've seen them live 3 times now. I was quite young the first time I saw them.
I was wondering, how old were you when you first saw them?
I think I was no more than 13.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm a big fan of Tool and also Perfect Circle, which is basically the same thing. And then when I heard, especially this song, I like a lot because just the sounds in the beginning, they're so, I don't know, they sound like they're sick, like they've catched a cold, which I really like. It's a very nice band. They're more melodic. Is that the word?
Metal, maybe?
But
what
it seems like
was the word you were trying to say?
Melodic.
Oh, melodic, yeah.
They seem like more than most heavy metal bands that have more melody, which I like.
Yeah, and mystery in this song.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, let's hear just a tiny bit more. This song's called The Hunter. Where were you, by the way, when you saw them for the first time, and what kind of place did they play?
It was in Bergen.
Yeah.
I think it was inside the first time. I remember the name of the venue because it's not there anymore.
Is it like a sports arena or is it a theater
No, it's a
club.
It was a club kind of, and then the second time I saw them, I was maybe 16, and then they warmed up for Slayer together with Gojira, which I also love a lot. So it was a great night for me to be able to see Gojira and Mastadon and Slayer at the same time. I'm quite a big heavy metal fan.
So I wouldn't have gotten that.
Especially live.
Mm-hmm. And there's a big metal scene of all sorts of metal in back home, yeah.
Oh yes, especially. I think it's quite normal where I come from in the north.
Why do you think?
To like heavy metal. Maybe it's just it just suits the scenery. If you're on a bus and you look out the window, it's most likely that there will be raining, and it will be quite dark if it's during winter time. And then I just feel like heavy metal just fits the scenery, and it makes you feel like a superhero, which I think many people needs.
That's awesome. I'm going to play another song that you chose, and this one it's The Other World. This is, it's just, I love the variety that you've given me in this list. I'm going to play the song from Leonard Cohen.
When they poured across the border, I was cautioned to surrender. This I could not do. I took my gun and vanished. I have changed my name so often. I've lost my wife and children, but I've many friends. And some of them are with me. An old woman gave us shelter, kept us hidden in the garret. Then the soldiers came. She died without a whisper. There were 3 of us this morning. I'm the only one this evening, but I must go on. The frontiers are my prison.
Do you want to introduce the song?
Oh, it's the Partisan by Leonard Cohen, and it gives me the chills because it's real. What he sings about was real, at least many years ago, and it's just a really special song. And the way he sings in French just now, it's such a beautiful thing with the women behind him. It's just the song just calms me down. It's wonderful.
Let's listen to this part.
J'ai changé 100 fois de nom, j'ai perdu femme et enfant, mais j'ai tant d'amis. J'ai la France entière. Un vieil homme dans un grenier, pour la nuit nous a cachés. Les Allemands l'ont pris. Il est mort sans surprise.
So those who don't know the song, it's a song from his second record. It's Songs from a Room. Came out in the late 60s, 69. Song he didn't write that's on that record, which is unusual. It's a song about the French resistance. It came out of the late, 1945, 43 or so.
Yeah.
And is sung in many different languages, and this is just a beautiful, beautiful song. Where did you first hear Leonard Cohen, period, and then this particular song?
Well, his voice came into my mind very early in my life. I think I was in my mom's belly the first time I heard his music. She's a big fan of him, and my dad is a big fan of Bob Dylan, and so I'm very grateful that they both brought these two men, these two storytellers into my life. And especially Cohen, just listening to his voice as well, it calms me down, and it reminds me of my mom.
Because
it's so
of the
soft.
association? Oh, your mom's voice she's
yeah,
a soft.
as well. It's the same softness and a delicateness, and also the warmth I feel like he has, and of course the association that my mom used to be there often when I heard his voice, and his music and his words is just such a great contribution to this planet. I love him.
Are your parents musical in any way, or in the arts, or creative land?
We share the same love for music, I think, and they used to sing in a choir a few years ago, just for fun. And I think they're both very good people to check music on, to see if they feel it, because they're good at feeling music, but they don't practice music the same way I do. They don't play an instrument or write music, but it's always music in the house. And we have this great LP player, which sounds very old and dusty and grainy, which I love. And it's always on in the house. So they're big music lovers, definitely.
And how did you come to an instrument, or how did you come to singing then? Is it something, that was just, you did it around the house and that felt natural and went from there?
Well, apparently, like, tiny birds are telling me that I did used to sing before I could talk. I did sing a lot, apparently, when I was 2 years old on my neighbor's stone. They had a big grass lawn in front of their house, and in the middle of the lawn there was a stone that looked a bit like the tip or like the front of a ship. And I think I must have seen the one scene in Titanic where they stand on the tip of the ship, because apparently I did the same every morning. I just put on a lot of dresses and clown pants, and I went out and I sang what I thought was a song from that scene on the stone.
Your arms are held way out, and I'm imagining you on this ship, but yes, keep going.
This really tiny person and the neighbors, they enjoyed it. They always watched me from their window.
How old are you in this real
I am
scene?
2 years old.
This is too precious. This is pretty wonderful.
So I think it has been in me to sing for a long time.
Do you believe in fate? Do you?
Well, I do. I do believe, like, because me being here is also it's happened with so many coincidences, it feels like, and also hard work, of course, but it seems like such a coincidence, the way I was found.
I don't actually know this story.
But it was just like, I recorded a song to give to my parents.
Which song was that?
Oh, it was a song called Puppet. It was about a woman mistreating her man. It's quite a sad story. I guess they found out that I was a songwriter, and when I was 14.
You were giving this to your parents, and
Yeah.
and who found out that you were a songwriter? Your parents found out you were a songwriter?
Yeah, when I was 14.
So you were writing in your room a lot?
Yeah,
and
I was a secret music spy for many, many years, since I was 9. And then I gave them this song, and I think a friend or a person at school put it online. And that's how my management found me, and I didn't even know. It just happened. I didn't even do anything for myself to be discovered.
Let's hear this. This is a puppet.
A dancing puppet doll made of wood. I bet he'd run away one day if he could choose to leave or stay. He's got a string attached to every bone. She's got him round her little finger, so she'll never feel alone. Oh, sometimes I wonder, did he go? But not a man, of course, his soul. Dreaming about Wonderland, wakes up and he's a man. Sometimes I wonder, did he go? But not a man, of course, his soul. Dreaming about Wonderland, wakes up and he's a man. Oh, taking control over another man's mind. Oh, taking control over another man's mind. Oh, taking control over another man's mind. Oh, taking control over his day of leaving her has struck his mind. When he sees her smile, he's hypnotized and he can't leave her behind.
You're smiling and laughing.
Wow,
and
that's so strange. Because it's not released through any company. It was just put on there by someone, and it's
Is it this version that you gave to your? Is this the very version, or is there
well,
an older version?
It was supposed to be a Christmas gift for my parents.
Yeah.
I recorded it in December 2012. I was
Where, in your bedroom, in your
No,
friends, in the studio?
my school teacher had a friend who could do it, and I was 16.
And who played the instruments?
Me.
Wow.
It's just me and piano and a few. It was my first meeting with the soundscape you can create if you have all the possibilities. But I think I had 4 hours. I had paid for 4 hours to record this song, so we didn't have much time. But it was. I was 16. I can hear that I'm younger. It's quite refreshing, untouched.
And you gave it to your parents, and what did they say?
Well, it was released online before.
I see.
It was released maybe 2 days after I recorded it. So, and I don't know how, but it was online and everywhere, and people liked it a lot. And
when you say everywhere, are you talking about
Norway
or really?
Norway, my city and my country, and it was just it was a very strange thing. It happened. I didn't even like the song back then. I didn't like the way my voice was. It was too sharp. But now I like it because it bites a bit sometimes.
And the song's about what?
Well, I just thought that, of course, everywhere we see relationships with women being mistreated by their men, and I thought, and I've seen it up close as well, and it's horrible. But also, it's for me, not physically, of course, but it's the same thing. If a man gets mistreated by a woman, and it seems like this society doesn't take that as seriously, which I think is sad, because it does the same to a person. Right. To love a person that hurts you and makes you feel less worth, and I think that's what the song is about. It's about a man being like a puppet for his woman, just a puppet doll that she's not good to him. And I thought it was an important thing to sing about when I was 16.
And what'd your parents say?
Well, they really liked the song.
First of all, were they really surprised that you could do all of this stuff, or had they seen it taking shape at home, or were you closeted away?
I was 16 when this song, and it was like me recording that song was so they could listen to me sing without me having to be in the room, because I was not comfortable with singing in front of anyone. It didn't make any sense because I didn't write for anyone else. I wrote for myself.
You weren't trying to entertain. You were just...
No, I was just trying to have an outlet, because I think I took a lot of the world into my heart and my brain, and sometimes it made life heavier than it should be, and that's why I write. It's such a strange story, I think, the way it all happened, very coincidentally.
So people, I'd imagine, called you up and started doing little articles and stuff like that?
Yeah. And suddenly I had a management. 3 weeks after the song was released, I had a management. And
was this Norway-based management, or was
yeah.
This,
And then people were asking for interviews, and I got a few gigs. It was very strange. And I didn't even want to meet my management. They were called Maid Management in Bergen. Very good people. And I didn't want to meet them when they sent me a message, because I didn't have any use to become an artist. I didn't see the point of it. But then my mother told me that she felt this wonderful feeling between sadness and happiness at the same time. And she said that for her that was really special to feel all these emotions at the same time, and not in a depressing way, but still in an honest way, I think. And she told me that if I could make her feel that way, maybe I could make people feel that way. And it would be selfish in one way to hide music from the world if it could be of any use. And that kind of made me take the first step into the music industry.
And do you remember getting up on stage for the first time and what you sang?
Yeah.
Because that's huge, right?
I do. I remember, like, the first time after Maid Management, I think during a year, I had 3 concerts or 4 myself, which was a lot for me back then. It was only me and a piano touring around, and I had maybe half an hour shows. Very strange. And then...
What sort of venues were you in?
Oh, small ones.
Houses or clubs?
Yeah, it was like... The biggest one was maybe warming up for a Norwegian artist called Martin, who is now in my band.
Oh.
But at that time, I warmed up for him. And then I did a few event shows, like opening up for a new library, and I was doing some songs on piano. And it was a very strange and exciting year. And then we recorded a few songs. Runaway, for example. I don't know. We slowly built our way up to where we are today.
I was listening to the ocean. I saw a face in the sand, but when I picked it up, then it vanished away from my hands. Dawn. I had a dream I was 7, climbing my way in a tree. I saw a piece of heaven waiting impatient for me. Dawn. And I was running far away. Would I run off the wall someday? Nobody knows, nobody knows. And I was dancing in the rain. I felt alive and I can't complain. But no, take me home where I belong. I can't take it anymore. I was painting a picture. The picture was a painting of you, and for a moment I thought you were here, but then again it wasn't true. Dawn. And all this time I have been lying, lying in secret to myself. I've been putting sorrow on the forest place on my shelf. Da-dee-da. And I was running far away. Would I run off the world someday? Nobody knows, nobody knows. And I was dancing in the rain. I felt alive and I can't complain. But no, take me home where I belong. I got no other place to go. No, take me home where I belong. I got no other place to go. No, take me home where I belong. I can't take it anymore.
You mentioned one of the members of your band was somebody who you once opened for, and I wonder about how your music comes together. There's so much going on here. Are the ideas for the arrangements part yours, part the band, or are they all yours, or all the band's? How does a song come to be? How does this song come to be more than just these words on a page?
Yeah. Well, this song I wrote when I was 11, I think. It's very old, and it's weird to think that it's now one of my current songs.
Half a life ago, almost.
Yeah, it is half my life ago, because now I'm 20, going on 21. It's very strange. Yeah. And I was with a drummer. Actually, his name is Magnus, and my whole record was produced by me and Magnus and Martin in the band. Mm-hmm. And we've been producing all my music that's out there. My head is full with ideas, and it's almost like when I write a song, when I sit at home and I write a song on my piano, I can almost already hear where I want the harmonies to be and where I want it to be grand and powerful, like a mountain, and where I want it to be quiet and delicate. And it's hard to put those dreams on paper, if you know what I mean. It's hard to make a song sound exactly like my dreams, and I think that's the most exciting hunt and chase I will always be hunting for, I think, for the rest of my life. And it drives me mad, but it keeps me passionate. So I think it's important.
Are they conversations? How does it unfold for you? How does a song like that, how do you talk to your two musical friends? Or do you just start to play it and it feel?
I can be selfish sometimes and be very bad at listening to other people's ideas. But I know that especially these two people, Magnus and Martin, they have great minds. And I think when I first perform a song in the studio, a song I've written, or maybe just an idea, and maybe we write the rest of the song together, like with Conqueror. That song I didn't write alone. I wrote it with Magnus and Martin. And my manager was also there. And it was just a night of fun times. The song is not really about anything deep or sad. It's just a story, a fun song that can be uplifting for a change in my live shows. So I think it's definitely an important song. But it's very different from the rest of my songs, I think. But still, it's me. But it's a very fun memory from the day we wrote it. But it happens different every time, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm. But I just didn't know if it was any sort. Can you communicate it with words?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like I don't know the right way to explain things. So I think they've learned now to understand my musical language, because I want the snare to sound more like a bite, or I want the bass drum to sound like something that comes from like the deep of the core of the world. Like I don't really know how to explain my ideas, but I have lots of images, I guess, to find a way to explain them and put them into. But it's definitely something we've all had to learn. I've had to learn how to explain myself, and they've had to learn my language. And also, they have many great ideas as well. But it's very interesting to see how we understand and misunderstand each other. But sometimes the misunderstandings becomes the most magical ideas.
And that's a good listener too, right? I mean, you said you don't listen sometimes, but when you hear happy accidents or those sorts of things, and it's not your idea, and you can incorporate it and you can accept it, that's being a good listener. Right?
Oh, okay. Well, then that's good at least. If it's magical, it's magical.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to play a little of the Conqueror, then I'm going to play more of your choices.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Broken mornings, broken nights, and broken days in between. Open ground, the sky is open, makes an open scene. Just like in fiction, in every addiction, or fantasies taking over, awake me. I've been looking for the conqueror, but you don't seem to come my way. I've been looking for the only one, but you don't seem to come my way. Broken me and broken
Do you always write in English?
I have a few songs in Norwegian.
Yeah.
But until now, the biggest drive for me to write in my own language has been if it was almost too painful to write in English.
Oh, wow.
So the songs are very, very sad. And I don't have the strength or courage to do them live now. But I do want to show you my language and my songs that are even more me, because I'm just me when I sing them, because it's in my own language. It's much more scary, I think, because you feel more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because you're not hiding behind a wall of different words. It's the words you've been speaking since you were a child. So it feels more closer to the heart, I think. But I think maybe next year I do want to release a song in Norwegian if I release a second album next year. I don't know yet, but I will see what time brings. But I think on my next album I would like to include a Norwegian song.
The irony of it is the wall that you don't have anymore, that you think you don't have, is for someone like me as a listener is a huge wall, because I'll have no idea what you're singing about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But for you personally, it's closer to the heart. It's interesting. I'm going to play. How about you tell me who this is?
Wintergatan. A band from Sweden.
Wintergarden, basically? Is that the,
It's kind of like the
you said
winter
it much
street.
better. Yeah.
Wintergatan. It's beautiful. It's just melodies, and they make it all on this wonderful machine. It's just magical.
For All Songs listeners, we put a song online with this. I don't know how to describe this machine. I don't even know where to begin. But it basically, the video we put up had like 2,000 marbles and dropping, and they would make the percussive sounds, and it was the most extraordinary thing. Is this record done that way?
Yeah, I do believe so. I'm very.
I mean, it looks
99%.
like. Okay, 99%.
Sure, but
Our
it's just,
audience will let us know if it's wrong, but
and of course they have. I think they have a few synths and a few, and I can definitely hear a bass in there. But a lot of the stuff is done on this machine, and it just creates a unique sound.
And people think of machines these days as something that's computer generated.
Oh,
this is
no,
all
it's
completely the most
alive.
beautiful wooden.
It looks like something that has a heart, doesn't it? Like it breathes, and you can almost hear that it's alive. A machine made of something that's alive, and it sounds alive as well.
It's almost like a cross between a merry-go-round and a hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah,
or something like that. I don't even know where to begin. But look up Wintergarten and out there and look at this machine. It's quite remarkable. I'm going to play something else. love the fact that you start with metal. We start with heavy metal, and then we come here.
Yeah.
It's hard to interrupt this, but we will. Tell us who this is.
I don't know if I pronounce the name correctly, but at least as I believe is a Tigran Hamasyan. Maybe.
So I'll spell it for those who maybe can, pronounce it differently. Tigran.
Tigran.
And then Hamasyan.
Hamasyan.
And where is he? Is the keyboard player, is the piano player, or the singer? Who's the...
Or
is
he's
this
not
one
the singer,
person?
I think.
Okay.
I don't know much about him.
Okay.
But it's just, I discovered this song, or this masterpiece, I think it is, a few weeks ago. I had one day off, I think I was home, and I was leaving the next day, and I asked a friend if he has a song that I can cry to.
Aww.
But a song that I can cry to that would leave me feeling uplifted.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent me this song.
Good friend.
I know, and the song did its job very good, because it makes me feel light in my heart.
He's an Armenian piano
yeah.
player. Let's listen to a little more. I think the album's called Shadow Theater, which I'm going to make sure I possess.
Yes, please
before
do.
the stay
Everyone,
is over.
Listen to the album. It's amazing.
It is. Is there a song that sort of put you where you are now, that you could say a song that made you want to do what you did, or changed your life, or?
Strangely, it's a song from one of my favorite books. Okay, movies, I guess. Lord of the Rings. And it's a song called "May It Be" by Enya, and it was a song that it just made me dream about being a part of a world like that song is a part of that fantasy world, which meant so much to me when I was a child, because it made me feel like I was a wizard of some kind, or that I had a bigger meaning to my life than just to exist.
Did you read Lord of the Rings before you saw the film?
Heavy books, I must say, but I did read them.
From a small age, you were reading big books.
and especially The Hobbit as well. I read when I was a bit younger.
And then you saw the movie, and let me just play a little bit of Enya's "May It Be" from that. Are you gonna get chills or cry? We'll see.
May it be an evening star shines down upon you. May it be when darkness falls, your heart will be true. You walk a lonely road. Oh, how far you are from home. Morning air, oh, truly believe, and you will find your way. Morning air, our promise lives within you. May it be the shadows.
You're how old when you saw and heard this song from The Fellowship of the Ring?
Yes, it just made me realize what I can do with music, because the way this song kind of sings to me or to you, may it be a fallen star shines down upon you. It's just such a brilliant way to feel, to make a person that's a bit lost feel understood, and the way a music like a song can be such a good friend to people that needs someone to talk to, but they don't know how to explain what they need, or how they feel, or why they feel like they feel. It's such a emotions are such a strange world for many of us, and the way music can make us feel so wonderful things without even knowing what emotions are. When you see children cry before they know what sadness is, it's just such a beautiful thing. And this song, I had a good life when I was a bit younger, and I was happy with the way I were and where I lived, and I was running around in the forest, but still I felt a bit alone, especially at school and stuff like that. I didn't really quite fit in, as I guess hundreds of people out there.
And certainly lots of people have become poets and musicians.
Yes.
Feel that.
Yeah, and the way just that song made me feel like she was taking a bit care of me, like an angel or a mother. It was just nice to feel that maybe I could do the same, because that's the people I write for, myself, and the people that feel smaller than they should feel.
This movie came out in around 2001. Did you see it and affected by it? You would have been, what, 5 years old? Is that when you first saw it, or was it when you were a bit older? When
I began playing piano and writing songs on piano when I was 6.
Wow.
And that was the year I think I at least heard the song. And I watched the movies when I was 8. And it was a really big, like, I love fantasy books, and I'm a huge geek, or I'm quite tiny, so I'm a tiny, huge geek, and I love adventures and fantasy books and Star Wars, like anything that makes the world a bit more exciting, and just meeting people like me that understands these worlds out there. It's such a brilliant way to both escape and also feel like you know more than most people, and you know that magic exists out there somewhere, and it's such a nice touch. to life, I think. To a tiny bit to believe in all these things that you read about in the books, in the magical books.
It's sort of one thing to, when you start to play music and you do it for yourself, or you do it for your parents, or you do it with your friends, to have that magic experience. But then it changes when you put out music and then you go on tour. There's a sort of a schedule and a regiment and all that stuff. Can you still find, when you go to a club of 1,000 people, you're about to do that tonight at the 9:30 Club, can you still find the magic in a song that you've now sung 17 times in 20 previous nights, and still find able to connect with an audience that you might not even be able to see because of the way the lighting might be? Or like, how does that work for someone who seems like such a sensitive soul that wants to make magic? Is it possible?
It's very strange being on tour. Is this, I don't know, before a tour I'm always very excited, and I pack my stuff and I pack my books and my cozy clothes and all my the things that smells, incense, like, and all those things that I need to bring with me. I almost pack my whole house when I go, so I can be surrounded by magical, beautiful things. But it's very strange also being on tour, and it reminds you that your hobby has become a job, which is kind of a gift and a curse at the same time for everyone who's in the same position. But it's always like, my biggest fear is that this will become an automatic thing, that I'll arrive a place and eat and do interviews and then meet fans and then play and meet fans again, and not realize that I'm meeting real people. That is actually also the reason why I'm here, because I wouldn't be anywhere without doing my interviews and without meeting my fans and having fans. But it's also strange having fans. So life is quite strange in general. But I try to tell myself every night that, because every night is special, and I really want the people that actually takes their time to come to my shows, because having a show without anyone in the crowd is quite sad. So I'm very happy that people actually come to my shows, and I want them to know that I'm happy that they're there, and I think that's my biggest mission every night.
I think as I've met more and more musicians over these many years, the ones that have the caring that you do have also the fear of what you're expressing here, that it'll become rote. And what I hear from them is that, sure, you might have a night like that. You can't always be on, but for the most part, those people still touch hearts and are part of, even though it does this thing that you do every night, it's still incredibly meaningful to the performer, to you will be, and to the fans. And though you might not be on every single night,
but as long as it's there,
that's
most
right.
of the time.
Almost, yeah, that's right.
Okay,
I think that's all a fan
hear.
can expect. I mean, and I also have found in all of my years doing this is that the people whose music I love have sort of similar sentiments to you, and that's why the music is good. So hang on to that.
Oh.
I'm sure you will.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I go out on this David Bowie cover of Life on Mars? Would that be all right? Because it feels something very appropriate about the magic. There's something very beautiful about it.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this today.
Thank you for having me.
It's lovely.
I've had a very good time.
Good. I can't wait to see you tonight again. Cheers. Aurora. She's currently on a U.S. tour. It's a great show. Go see it. And her debut album is called All My Demons Greeting Me as a Friend. I'm Bob Boilen for NPR Music. It's All Songs Considered.
It's a god-awful small affair to the guy with the mousy hair, but her mom is yelling no, and her dad is told to go, but a friend is nowhere to be seen. Now she walks through a sunken dream, to the seat with the clearest view, and she's hooked to the silver screen. But the film is a saddening bore, 'cause she's seen it 10 times or more. She could spit in the eyes of fools as they ask her to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those cavemen go. It's the freakiest show. Take a look at the lawman beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, wonder if he'll ever know he's on the best-selling show. Is there life on It's on America's tortured brow that Mickey Mouse has grown up a cow. Now the workers have struck for fame, 'cause Lennon's on sale again. See the mice with a million hordes, from Ibiza to the Norfolk Broads. Rule Britannia is out of bounds. To my mother, my dog and clowns. But the film is a saddening bore, 'cause she read it 10 times or more. It's about to be read again, as I ask you to focus on sailors fighting in the dance hall. Oh man, look at those cavemen go. It's the freakiest show. Take a look at the lawman beating up the wrong guy. Oh man, wonder if he'll ever know he's on the best-selling show. Is there a life